Okay, so pistols versus rifles. Kossoff got to talking about shit in a comment and got me thinking. And now we are going to talk about the one gun. If I was only going to have one gun, my answer has always been to cheat and have two guns, a 1911 and a rifle. In reality, if I could only have one gun, which one of these do you think I'm going to pick? Most people are saying handgun. Most people are very, very fucking wrong. I like this. I like having this. I like this because I can conceal this on my person pretty readily. Is that something I need? No, it's not. What about, oh, I'm going to go so-and-so in society or whatever? Most of the places that I would go, I wouldn't need a gun. And all the places that I might need a gun, I could bring this. I'll also add that because I'm me, my rifle always has a bayonet. This is the M7 bayonet. It is essentially a dagger. And this is the other reason why I would take the fucking rifle. So in my mind, the rifle always is going to have a bayonet with it, which means it always has a fucking secondary. Which means, like, if you need to go fucking, like, to Walmart or something and you need a concealed weapon, take the fucking dagger. I know it's not as good as a pistol, but you need to fucking understand that, like, a pistol really isn't a whole lot of fight stopping either. Go away, cat. Find somewhere to sit. And, like, can you go into Walmart with the AR-15 slung in the here and now? Depending on where you are, yes. Should you? No, probably not. And here's my thing is, you would be making a sacrifice to have this be the one gun. You would. There's no, there's no way around that. You're going to have times where you are not armed when you could have been potentially armed. And that's where Kossoff's coming at with, basically what he's saying is, you should have a pistol until you can get to a rifle. I'm not saying don't own pistols. I'm not saying don't know how to use pistols. All I'm saying is that for anything that I'd ever really need a gun for in, like, the end of the world or some shit like that, or defend myself, I want this thing if I can get it. And if I have this thing in a breakdown case and this until I can put it together, I'll take that. I'll live with having a tennis racket bag o' death if that's what it comes to, compared to, only owning a fucking 45. Kossoff said it's like having a tool in a toolbox. He is correct. This is a completely different tool than the fucking rifle is. And in reality, for most of what you need in civilian life, whoa. Sorry. For most of what you need in civilian life, 1911 is probably a lot closer to what you need, right? Why do I say that I would pick the rifle then? Range. It has to do with range. I don't really consider this to be all that good of a gun. Okay? And that's, you're like, oh, we should have something other than 1911 then. If we're going to play that game, we would end up with some sort of either a Roland special or an M17 or maybe a fucking like double stack 1911 with a red dot in 9mm. That would be playing the, hey, let's have the best handgun that we can have game. I guess I'm telling you that the difference between this 1911 in its World War II configuration versus your fucking Roland Special ain't a whole lot, really. At the end of the day. It just didn't. Yeah, with the 9mm and hotter pills, you're going to get some more range. Yeah, you'll have more capacity. It doesn't really fucking matter. It's not this. It will never be this. I'm not saying it's not better, but like you need to get the frame of reference that you're fucking like facing, right? You need to get how fucking useless of a thing this really is on a battlefield. And like this is where a lot of people be like, well, why do you need a battle rifle or whatever? This is some life philosophy shit, right? This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine. We are the defenders of my country. It is the defender of my life. It goes on and on. That's the rifleman's creed. You can go look it up. I think it's important to own a rifle. I think it's important to be good with it. I think this thing might keep you safe from muggers in an alley. This thing keeps your country safe from Russia and China. Okay? And it's not about me owning one. It's about every one of you motherfuckers should own one and know how to use it and have it zeroed and be practiced and proficient in its use and yada, yada, yada. This is why this is the one gun. Okay? It just is. Also, I'll put it to you that the way this thing is configured, with the scope, it's like 7 pounds. If I take that scope off and run irons only, this is getting to be a 5 or 6 pound rifle pretty easy. You can take that everywhere with you. In the end of the world, I would have an open rifle slung on my side everywhere I went. And if people give me shit about it, well, if they're like government troops and whatever, well, then we'll have to reevaluate our shit. And that's why we have some concealed weapons, right? But if that was the only gun I had, I would just stick to areas where they were not. And Mr. Backup here is always nice to have. These are my thoughts, though, on rifle versus pistol and why I do what I do, basically. I have a couple of steel frame pistols that hold a few shots because I think that is a valuable thing to have. I don't think it's a valuable thing to have some fucking whiz-bang wonder gun. Which I've got one of those too, but mine's set up to be a bag gun at least. My 320 is, set up to be all crazy town. It is across the room over there. Not going to get it. I'm a little topless to walk over there right now. I'm hoping I don't have to kill this video from the cat bouncing you guys around earlier and dropping the fucking 1911 on the camera. But yeah, basically, what are you really going to use a handgun for? My question to you. Criminal defense. I guess for me and my uses and whatever, a rifle for home defense and a fucking bayonet to carry around with you everywhere is better than having no rifle at all and just this thing. I will say that there's like a romantic side of me that I'm going to build a loadout that's nothing but a 1911 and a black powder revolver. Because that just seems cool. I think if you're carrying an AR-15 and mags, there's no way that you're going to carry a fucking black powder revolver in addition to everything else. But if for some reason I did go fucking nuts and go, fuck it, cowboy, pistols only, like, that's why I have the black powder revolver. You know, it's multifunction really, but that's its main purpose. It's just I might want to say fuck it and be a cowboy. Also put it to you that any really good cowboy has a carbine of some sort, and I like Loki. I think Loki is a good fucking carbine. You know, it's everything that you fucking need it to be. It's for shooting small to medium game and people. So my other gun, I'm really kind of thinking about rigging out as like a fairly long range shooting kind of a gun. Toying with that idea. If I do that, this thing might end up with a fucking red dot more often. I don't know. It would be really dope to build like imagine like a cross between a SPR, like the Navy SEALs use, and like a prairie dog gun. So like maybe build an SPR specifically for like prairie dog hunting. So that way it could do both. That's kind of like this thing is half deer rifle, half, you know, home defense carbine, half whatever. Like, it's meant to be one gun for all things. I wish it was in 308, but like not enough to deal with having an AR-10. There's a part of me that really wanted to get like an M14. If I was in California, I would have an M14. M1 Garand would be really fucking awesome, except basically the technology on that gun just isn't there. A lot of people love the M1 Garand, but a lot of people won't admit that basically it's not a good apocalypse rifle, because basically those guns wear out. If you don't believe me, go look at World War II basically and realize that their answer to a worn out M1 Garand was to send it back for factory refurbishment and give people a new M1 Garand. You won't have that option. As such, it's probably not the best rifle to fucking have in field with you. Whereas the AR-15 is very, very user serviceable, especially like the one I got doesn't even have a detachable buffer tube. It has a barrel that you could need to wrench off and shit, but other than that, there's nothing on this gun that you couldn't fix or replace yourself at a garage with with minimal tools. That's pretty dope. I don't know. I come back to my original answer, which is you need to have a pistol and a rifle. And this is where Kossoff, I think, is really correct in that these are tools in the toolbox. It's just, how high of a priority do you place on which tool, I guess. And to me, this is a nice to have. This is a thing we just have, and this is a must-have. I will say that in its full configuration, a fucking 1911 and a scoped AR-15 is a pretty bitchin' set of guns. Ken Hackathorn says he thinks the finest, what do you say, the finest arm for close quarters combat ever made is the 1911. And his reasoning on that is that it's shooting 45 ACP. It's really light. You can use it with one hand. You have several shots. You can reload. There's a lot going for this thing from like a police entry kind of standpoint. Like, hey, we're going to go into this building. For me, if I'm going to go into a building, I'm probably going to sling the rifle and pull out the fucking bayonet and this thing. Or maybe just have this thing. Especially going through a structure or some shit, like no one knows we're here yet. A 45 ACP inside of a house, not a lot of people are going to hear. This is a real quiet gun. Like, there's a whole bunch of reasons for why I do anything, right? And like, this is some of the reasons for this thing is 45 ACP is very resupplyable. It's very cheap. This gun doesn't need a lot of it to work. It's a low ammunition consumption gun. And this is a thing a lot of people don't understand at all. It's like, yeah, you have a 9mm or whatever. How many rounds are we going to use? Because with the 45, I'm probably going to use 1 or 2. And that's just reality. Like, also, reality is I'm carrying fucking ball. And I have no doubts about my 45 ball working. That's, you know. The other reason we're not carrying 9mm is everybody is always like, well, with modern ammunition, 9mm is blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I like 9mm. I own 9mm. That modern ammunition shit's some horse shit. What do you mostly buy? Do you mostly buy hollow points? No. Well, then in the end of the world, you're going to end up carrying full metal jackets in your fucking 9mm. And at the point that we're having full metal jackets to stop a human being at close range inside of a structure, it's kind of what I see this for. I'll take the 1911. Also, I shoot this gun really, really good. Thanks to growing up shooting it and this being a fairly nice one. The Remington 1911s are going to be worth a lot of money someday. These things are better 1911s than anything else on the market, and they were only fucking charging $150 more than bargain basement shit. I got this thing for $550. A Rock Island is $450. $4 1/4, something like that. It's nuts to me. And like, I know these aren't everybody's cup of tea, but as someone that really likes a GI gun with improved sights, thank you, Remington. Like, all of those guns that they made and sold onto the market, they're going to be on the market forever as probably a $500 or $600 gun. And I don't know, I see myself picking up more Remington 1911s in the future. Hopefully I can find a deal on a couple of full-size GI ones at a gun show or something. And if I do that, this thing might get mixed up. I don't know. I'll probably always keep this thing the same. It's pretty dope. But I'd like to have a pair of the full-size Remington, 5-inch government model with the improved sights. Have, a pair of them, and I don't know what I'm going to do to them. Other than bobbing the hammers and putting World War II grips on them. Like, you could add streamlights to them, that would be kind of cool. But I already kind of done that. So I might just keep them classic looking. Just have them be like, you know, carry guns, basically. That's kind of what I'd like to make. Is like, if this thing is full on, you know, in a fucking war belt or whatever, where it's gonna be, I'd kind of like to have some like plain Jane 1911s just for carrying. Eventually I'll get that. For now, I have the one. And that's the great thing about a 1911 is, let's say the world went to shit tomorrow and this gun exploded. There's so many of these kicking around Texas and Oklahoma that I have no fear about my ability to procure another one. Also, it seems like if the Democrats get their way much longer, we're not going to have guns anymore in this country. I think we're probably going to look at another magazine ban and assault weapons ban coming. I hope not. But we've got a lame duck Congress right now. They could do anything they fucking want, really. They've already lost. And now we've had a fucking gay nightclub shooting. So much horse shit. I don't understand why the fucking gay people have to annoy the straight people and why the straight people have to be raging homicidal maniacs that are usually some sort of a religious nut job that thinks that we're destroying the world, basically. Like, go watch Bear Independent and The Prepared Homestead and realize that those dudes are fucking loony fucking tunes. And those are the kind of people that would have me rounded up and put into fucking camps. They won't openly say that on fucking YouTube or whatever. But because of their religious beliefs and what they think is going on and how they think people should live and whatever, if you let them be in charge, I would have to fucking start killing motherfuckers. And this is basically, my concern is that it seems like those kind of people are going to end up in charge. Once all this is said and done, all this is a big fucking show of the left showing their ass. And it's going to end up with the vast majority of the population going so far fucking right that we live in some sort of dystopian pseudo 1980s hell. That's where we're headed. Like, right now we're going through like, there was a point in Hollywood in the 1960s and 70s where the movies got really, really bad. And then Jaws and Star Wars and all this shit, like, saved a slumping industry. They figured out something that made money again. Well, they're getting ready to do that again. They've killed off the whole fucking movie industry. They're killing off a lot of shit. I don't remember where I was headed with the movie industry shit, but it saddens me to see the state of decay that our country is in. It saddens me even more to see, you know, fag bashers basically blaming us for God being upset with them or some shit, and like all of this crap about how like all this crap about how the moral decay of society precedes an empire's fall and yada 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 yada. Yeah, all that's technically fucking true. But at the same time, you need to fucking get that, like, it's not moral decay to be transgender. Like, we have moral decay. Like, this is, like, the reason that they got a fucking foothold here in the first place is because those religious fucks not even getting the fact that, like, there's a percentage of the population that just are this. And you just hate us for that fucking reason. Pisses me off. So, like, maybe in the gay nightclubs, people should fucking have pistols instead of rifles. But, like, this is really, we should have a culture where it's okay to heckin' have this in a gay nightclub. And I don't mean, like, for the one weirdo or whatever, but I mean, like, every fucking gay man in the club should have a fucking rifle on him. There should be a rack in the bathroom for you to put your guns in while you fuck in the stall. You know? Welcome to Oklahoma. We do things different down here. You know? I, Joe Exotic, am here to show you the finest in live exotic tigers. Here for your own enjoyment, this here is Churchum's. He is a tiger cab born just this week in Louisiana, Arkansas. He is 85 pounds of pure tiger fury. Sorry, cat. He's like, why are you picking me up? Oh, on the Joe Exotic note, we'll end this. I'll have to, like, add something in the title of this. See you guys later.